Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Thoughtful Thursdays. My name is Angela, and today I want to talk to those of us that are transitioning. Transitioning because of changes that we have deliberately decided to make for ourselves, and changes because the universe and God made some changes for us that were unexpected, but we have to embrace them. And I'm going to put this all in the couch of back in 2012, excuse me. In 2012, I found myself divorced, and it was necessary. After 20 years of marriage, 25 years of being with my ex-husband, the children of my father, an amazing man. And I remember in that moment that my prayer to God, I had a prayer to God. I remember sitting in the car and I remember crying, actually. I was crying because although the divorce was necessary, I remember crying and asking God, please show me how to love. You think that's such a simple prayer. You think that is, how hard is it to love, But at that moment, I really, truly believed that I did not know how to love because I lived a very chaotic life during my marriage. I lived a very disruptive life. And I say very because I know who I was. And I know the pain that I inflicted, and I'm not here to talk about my ex-husband and what he may or may not have done. I'm here to talk about what I know that I did to contribute to the fact that we were no longer married, and at this point, no longer even best friends. He was my best friend. He's no longer my best friend now, although we are friends and we are cordial. And so it stemmed from the fact that I didn't know, in my opinion, how to love. I was broken in many areas that caused me to have all these blockages where I thought I was protecting myself in how to love. And so that simple prayer led to now 11 years or so of healing. 11 years of healing. Because when I prayed that prayer, I really thought that, God was going to heal me. No, God was going to teach me by the next day. By a year maybe, 2 years maybe, but 11 years, never in my wildest dreams did I think it would take this long, and never in my wildest dreams did I think it was going to be so many levels to this healing process, so many levels to him teaching me how to love. And at the end of the day, the simplest thing is God says, love thy neighbor as thy love thyself. And if we think about that, when we really think about that, if you can't love yourself, you go around inflicting pain upon other people because you're inflicting pain upon yourself. You go around doing things that unintentionally create harm and havoc in other people's lives. And I did that for a very long time. I was very disruptive. And I lived in my own world saying, this is who I am and this is what I am. This is the perspective that I know. And it came from the fact of this is what I learned when I was growing up. I saw my role models, my people, my example live that same way. And so I didn't even know that it was unacceptable behavior because I had learned to accept that behavior as my own. And so in this process, God showed me through pain and trial and tribulation along the way, because you also think when you pray the prayer of love that it's going to be easy because love is happy, right? Love is a happy thing. And I'm saying this all in the month of February because this is the month of love. But it's not always. Love is grace. Love is truly being able to have grace for yourself and for others, because to truly love something, to truly love yourself, to truly love someone else, You have to learn to accept them as they are. You have to learn to accept yourself as you are. And that's so hard. That is so very hard. And so along this process, God kept putting me in these situations. I remember the very first situation after that. God asked me to send love notes to my ex-husband, who at that current time, I was in a fit of hate against. And hate is a strong word, but like if there was any emotion, that's where I was. I was like, he was the devil to me, and if I could erase him off the world, I would have erased him off the world. I would have just taken him out. But, and y'all bear with me, Angela Tharp has grown a lot over the years, but bear with me. And so God put me through this process for I forget now how many days straight. It might have been 30 days straight or whatever. Every single day I had to send some sort of message to my ex-husband without telling him that this is what God had asked me to do, of why I loved him. And some days it was a struggle. The first parts were easy. I love you because you gave me my children. I love you because you stayed with me for, 20 plus 25 years. I loved you because you were my best friend. I loved you because when no one else supported me, you supported me. Those were the easy things. But as you got through the days and that hate was still in me, it was harder and harder to say those things. But, and truth, I think I took him by surprise. And eventually he just accepted that I had to do that. And it wasn't because I wanted to be back with him. It was because God had to heal that space within me. And that was the way in which I did it. The hate had to be healed with love. And so I had to practice love regardless of the fact if I felt it or not. I had to practice it. And then there's other situations where, people will disrespect me. In my mind, I'm from old school New York, Long Island, and there's a certain code to all things, I grew up in a family where, some might say it was a little gangster, but there was a code to the gangster life, and I knew that code. And if I felt as though you disrespected me, I felt as though I had the right to make it known that you disrespected me and possibly retaliate in some way. Again, y'all, I've come a long way. And God kept putting me in positions where that was something that I had to take and humble myself and be like, okay, you disrespected me, but I've come too far. I'm not going back to that old Angela. This Angela is going to give you grace. This Angela is going to find a way to love you despite the fact that you've done something to harm me. And I will tell you, that right there is a daily thing. That right there, I'm not 100% fully vested in that part because the challenges come on greater and greater levels to practice that. But I am vested in the fact that I have come too far to lose that. And I'm saying this all to say, when you pray a prayer, be mindful that the change that is necessary to see that prayer manifested is going to require you to go through a series of levels of change, a series of levels of pain, a series of level of feeling discombobulated and scared and out of your element. However, you prayed that prayer for a reason. You prayed that prayer because you knew on the other side of that prayer and on the other side of learning that was the gift you needed to give yourself to live in your fullest capacity, to live and be the best you could be. And although I may not have truly perfected how to love, I do believe I have truly perfected how to check myself when I am not operating within love. And I want to encourage each and every person that's walking through this earth with some sort of brokenness, because those that were supposed to raise us, those that were supposed to take care of us, didn't know themselves how to love. And they gave us some baggage that has disrupted our life even to this day, even in our grown lives. And I'm going to encourage you to give those people some grace, because they didn't know any better either. Just like you don't know any better, they didn't know any better. But what you do know is that you don't want to live in that space anymore. And so because you don't want to live in that space anymore, begin the journey to heal it. For me, it was that simple prayer, which led me to counseling, which led me to spiritual growth, which led me to all these other things. We are in the month of love. We are in the month of Black Pride. I am tired of seeing my community, and in particular, my Black sisters and brothers, my sisters and brothers of my nucleus family, my cousins, all of us, continue to disrespect ourselves in a way in which we are not loving to each other, and we are not taking the opportunity to figure out how to love one another correctly. So, peace and blessings. I know it was a tangent and it wasn't on a book, but I felt it on my heart that 2024, we must do better. We must figure out how to truly love ourselves so that we stop hurting other people. To truly love ourselves so that we can become the best and the brightest of ourselves, and teach our children and our grandchildren how to be better people, and they not experience the same brokenness that we experienced. Let's level up. We're a generation better than the last generation. I love you. I appreciate you. And that, I will tell you, is why I always end and begin and I say, I love you. I love you because God loved me, and he loved me despite everything that I have ever done to disrupt the life he gave me, to be disrespectful to him, and to be disrespectful to myself and my family. Never again, not anymore. I'm on this path, I'm on this journey, and I welcome you to do the same. I love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.